Baseball in 1999 proved to be one of the most exciting seasons in school history.
The first pitch to him. A gapper into right left center field. The Aggies are going to win it. The Aggies are going to win it.
Winning their second consecutive Big 12 regular season championship and landing a spot among the Elite Eight in the College World Series.
In the air, pretty deep left field. It's a grand slam.
This Aggie team made an incredible run through the season.
This place is coming apart.
5-4, top of the ninth. Energizing that never-say-die spirit that players and fans alike call Olsen magic.
2 pitch to the plate.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. He struck him out. He struck him out. Aggies are going to the College World Series.
Texas A&M head coach Mark Johnson and his team began the season with a preseason ranking of 11th in the Baseball America poll. Opening day, February 5th. The opponent, the University of Texas Pan American, provided a preview of what was in store. 12 runs on 14 hits. 10 different players got on base. New transfer from UT Austin, Aggie catcher Sean Schumacher blasted his way into the Aggie hearts as the former Orange Blood launched a solo shot over the Green Monster in center field. A&M was out of the chute and running on what would prove to be a season for the books, in more ways than one. The first 11 non-conference games found the Aggies with a 9-2 record, a stumble on a road trip to Arizona were the only blemishes. The 13th-ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys came to Olsen Field on the last weekend in February to open Big 12 conference play. Texas A&M junior left-hander Casey Fossum went 8 1/3 innings, striking out 10 on the day. The Aggies found themselves down 3-0 going into the 7th inning. Leadoff walk to Eric Solbeck and a right field single by Sean Heaney scored Solbeck when the ball rolled under the glove of the right fielder. Shortstop Steve Screech Scarborough scored Heaney with a single of his own to score the second run of the inning. A new OSU pitcher uncorked a wild pitch to pinch hitter Chad Hudson. A passed ball by Josh Holliday had the tying run just 90 feet away. Hudson came through with an RBI single, and the Aggies had come all the way back to tie the game. 2 intentional walks loaded the bases. Third baseman Dell Lindsay at the plate. Lindsay connects down the left field line to score Hudson. Comeback complete. Aggies gain insurance in the 8th with a Steve Leonard run. Chris Russ, Aggie reliever, came on in the 9th. Magic moments continued as Heaney and Scarborough combined for an incredible double play to get the first 2 outs of the inning. An OSU strikeout preserved a 5-3 win and gave the Aggies win number 1 on the road to defending their Big 12 conference title. Back to work Saturday in front of almost 4,500 screaming Aggie fans. Chance Capel, junior from South Lake Carroll, took the hill and worked a complete game for A&M, striking out 9. Offensively, senior co-captain John Sheshik helped to pace the Aggies' 12-hit attack with an RBI single in the first inning, and in the 3rd inning, he connected for a 4-bagger, taking it out of the park for a 2-run shot. Senior Stephen Truitt got a home run of his own as the Aggies took the game 7-4. Game number 3 proved to be one of the most exciting finishes in Olsen Field history and started this team on a streak of unbelievable comebacks that etched their place in the history books. Tight game. OSU took a 3-2 lead into the 9th inning. Top of the inning, the Cowboys threatened. Trevor Lew at first, 2 outs, tried to score on a double to left field. Steve Leonard runs down the ball, hits the cutoff man. Scarborough got the ball to catcher Sean Schumacher, who made the tag. Out at the plate, inning over. Moved to the bottom of the 9th. First 2 batters retired. 1 out left and 1 run behind. Scarborough at the plate. Scarborough finds open grass and a base hit. The Aggies still have a heartbeat. Stephen Truitt, the Aggie center fielder with a flair for the dramatic, turned on it and took it yard. Aggies' 9th win in a row. A sweep to open conference play, and it proved to be the opening act that played at Olsen Field through the final game of the season.
It doesn't happen too often. You don't see it. Jeff Bailey did it one time here, and obviously Byington did, and And now Stevens put his name in that circle too. 2 outs and, down by 1, and you end up hitting a home run. It doesn't happen too often. It happens a lot in your dreams, but it doesn't really happen too often out of the ballpark.
The Aggies moved up to 4th in the national poll. Next conference opponent, Iowa State. A&M captured the first 2 games of the series, winning 8-3 and 6-1. Game 3, brooms were out. Aggies' march on the all-time home run record continued as Schumacher launched a grand slam in the 4th inning. Dalen Holt hit a 3-run shot to bring his total to 9 on the season. Drew it into the second series sweep in a row with a home run. His 2-run shot in the bottom of the 8th to bring the 12-run rule into effect. The 14-1 victory brought the Aggies' season record to 15-3 for the year and a conference mark of 6-0. Bad weather forced the loss of 1 game to the elements, and only a doubleheader would be played between A&M and Texas Tech in Lubbock. Aggies dropped both games and returned to host the Continental Express Baseball Classic during the spring break. Aggies opened the tourney with a loss to the Hustlin' Rebels of UNLV, but bounced back in another thriller on Saturday against Michigan. Aggies scored 4 runs in the 3rd. Holt and John Sheshik both got doubles in the inning to key the scoring. Michigan scored 4 of their own in the 6th to tie the game. Russ entered the game in the 8th and held the Wolverines at bay as the game went into extra innings. In the home half of the 11th, Eric Sobek reached on an error by the second baseman with 1 out. Brent Howell entered the game as a pinch runner and promptly stole second base. Screech at the bat stayed alive till he got what he wanted. He took a 3-2 count over the left field wall for the game winner. The magic ride continued. Aggies won the next 3 contests to pit themselves in a rematch against UNLV for the tournament title. Aggies found themselves down 4-1 going into the 6th inning. The nearly 3,000 Aggie faithful witnessed another patented Aggie comeback. Dalen Holt reached first on a fielder's choice, and John Sheshik followed with a walk. Second baseman Sean Heaney scored Holt on a fluke single to right center just in front of a diving Ryan Ludwig. It cut the lead to 4-2. With Sheshik and Heaney at the corners, designated hitter Greg Porter came to bat and delivered a monumental blast over the Green Monster, dead center field. Aggies take a 5-4 lead. Chris Russ came on in relief of true freshman Khalid Baluli and pitched the final 3 innings, allowing no runs and 2 hits. Picking up the win and running his record to a perfect 6-0, giving the Aggies the Continental Express Classic Trophy. A non-conference midweek game against Lamar gave an Aggie walk-on the opportunity to start as a pitcher. Junior walk-on Derek Adams, winner of the Marion Few Spirit Award, thrilled the crowd as he pitched his way to a win, allowing 5 hits and 1 earned run in 4 innings. The Aggies won the game 7-2. The road trip to Missouri was next, where the Aggies took 2 of 3 from the Tigers, improving their conference mark to 8-3 and 25-7 overall. After a midweek loss to the Rice Owls 7-6, the Aggies hosted the Nebraska Cornhuskers Easter weekend. In the Friday game, A&M coasted to a 14-4 victory, highlighted by a 3-home run performance by third baseman Dell Lindsey. His 3 blast put him in the Aggie record book for home runs by an individual in 1 game, with 7 other Aggie teammate Dalen Holt accomplished the feat against. The road trip to Missouri was next, where the Aggies took 2 of 3 from the Tigers, improving their conference mark to 8-3 and 25-7 overall. After a midweek loss to the Rice Owls 7-6, the Aggies hosted the Nebraska Cornhuskers Easter weekend. In the Friday game, A&M coasted to a 14-4 victory, highlighted by a 3-home run performance by third baseman Dell Lindsey. His 3 blast put him in the Aggie record book for home runs by an individual in 1 game, with 7 other Aggie sluggers, including teammate Dalen Holt, who accomplished the feat against UT Pan American earlier in the season. Casey Fossum threw a complete game for a win, improving his mark to 6-3. In the opening game on Saturday, the Aggies had a season-high 23 hits, only slowed down by a 35-minute rain delay as they pounded Nebraska 16-3. The Big 12 home run leader, Dalen Holt, slammed 2 home runs en route to a 4-for-5 performance with 5 RBIs. Lindsey and Steve Scarborough each had 4 hits as well. Chance Capel, he got the win. Game number 2 of the doubleheader was another Olsen magic moment. Matt Ward got the start for the Aggies, allowing only 1 run in 5 2/3 innings, holding the top hitting club in the Big 12 without a hit through 5 innings. Nebraska rallied from a 2-0 deficit to tie the game in the 8th. Extra innings against number 18 Nebraska. It's bottom of the 10th inning. Stephen Truitt at the plate. 2 outs, a 1-2 count. Truitt hits a seeing eye single to keep the inning alive. Freshman Greg Porter, first pitch hits the wall. A double that brings home Truitt and gives the Aggies another conference opponent. The 6th-ranked Aggies improved their record to 28-8 overall and 11-3 in the Big 12. The Aggies extended their win streak to 7 games with a victory over Sam Houston at home and a 3-game sweep of Kansas State at St. Joe, Missouri. In the 4 games, the hot-hitting A&M club outscored their opponents by a combined 40-9. It's a Tuesday night, and 2 unlikely freshmen provided the next Olsen magic moment. Down 10-4 against the University of Texas San Antonio in the 6th, the Aggies mounted a comeback. Aggies reeled off 6 runs over the next 3 innings to tie the game as they moved to the 9th. UTSA scored 1 run in the top of the 9th to take an 11-10 lead. The stage was set. The question is, who's going to make the play? 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Hey, make it 2 strikes and 2 outs. Aggie freshman Neil Stevenson down to his last strike when he connects on a pitch that carries over the left field wall. Home run! Stevenson's unlikely heroics sent the nearly 3,000 fans into a frenzy. Stephen Truitt reached on a single, stole second, then went to third on a throwing error. Enter Aggie freshman Blake Wheeling. In his first at-bat of the game, hits a single, scores Truitt. Hags win 12-11. Bottom of the 9th comeback complete. The 5th-ranked Aggies run their win streak to 8, with the Big 12 leading Baylor Bears coming up next. The Battle of the Brazos, the battle for first place in the conference. Number 5 A&M, number 7 Baylor. A&M travels to Waco to take on the Bears on Friday. Aggie ace Casey Fossum versus Baylor's number 1 pitcher Jason Jennings. Despite Sean Heaney's homer in the 4th, the Aggies fell to Baylor in the game 7-2. Saturday, the series moves to Olsen Field. The Aggies trailed the Bears in the conference standings by a game and a half. The atmosphere, electric. Olsen, it's packed. Record paid attendance, 8,230 jammed into the stadium. An estimated 2,500 were outside looking in. And as the night fell, the lights showcased college baseball at its best. The Aggies fell behind early and mustered scores and singles, trailing 4-3 as the game entered the 8th inning. Capel walks the leadoff man. Chris Russ takes over for Capel in the 8th and then retires the side. Bottom of the 8th, Chad Hudson drew a walk and advanced to second on a wild pitch. Sean Schumacher steps to the plate with a tying run on second and a 1-0 count. He took a fastball at the knees, screaming over the right field fence, and sent the crowd into hysteria. Aggies take the lead 5-4. Top of the 9th, Russ entices John Topolsky, who had a 2-run home run earlier in the game, to fly out to left to end the game. Comeback complete. Aggies win and move to within a half game of Baylor with a game to go. Sunday, the conference lead goes to the winner. Over 7,100 fans living and dying with every pitch. The Aggies and Bears go back and forth in the finale. Baylor jumps out to a 7-1 lead. The Ags battle back, and in the 7th inning, they tied the game on a 3-run bomb by home run leader Dalen Holt. The Aggies end up scoring 5 runs in the 7th to knot the game at 7. Baylor bounces back. 3 runs in the top of the 8th to take a 10-7 lead. A&M answers again. Sean Heaney at the plate. 2 outs. Banged out a triple. 2-run score. Going into the 9th. A&M defense rose to the occasion, turning a 4-6-3 double play behind left-handed reliever Matt Knight. Freshman Khalid Baluli came on to get a fly ball 3rd out and take the Aggies into the bottom of the inning, trailing by a run. First baseman John Sheshik led off the inning with a single. Brady Minyard came on as a pinch runner. Holt walks. Sobek lays down a bunt, reaches when the 3rd baseman slipped. Bases loaded, nobody out. Schumacher, hero of the night before, at the plate.
Here's the first pitch to him. A gapper into right left center field. The Aggies are going to win it. The Aggies are going to win it. 2-run score, and that's it.
The win gives A&M sole possession of first place in the conference, a lead they would never give up. A&M's magic ride at Olsen continued, moving their home record to 26-1.
Well, we did have some magic going today, you know, and I don't know how it happens. It's amazing, but our guys don't quit.
Olsen Field, there's magic here. I mean, like I said earlier, you know, we've done it 5 or 6 times this year. Just come back from down 5 or 6 runs early in the game, and the crowd was great this weekend. I don't know what the attendance was today, but it was amazing. You know, I can't imagine coming here having to play us. You know, with all the people, parents weekend. It was a great weekend.
This ball club, I really think we got something special. That's kind of the word that gets around the locker room. And it's some of the Olsen magic that happened today again. So, and we've had other people do it too. We've had just about everybody on this team stepped up one time or another and either won a game or put ourselves in a position to win a game.
A&M won 5 of its next 6 ball games, including a 3-game sweep of conference foe Kansas. Highlights included a Greg Porter grand slam, his 3rd home run in 3 days. And Dalen Holt, the Aggies' version of Mark McGuire, tied the A&M all-time home run record with his 25th shot in the 4th inning of the final game. The league-leading Aggies had a 40-10 mark when the Texas Longhorns came to town. Olsen Field broke the attendance record set during the Baylor weekend with over 8,400 fans hitting the turnstiles. A&M dropped the opening game to the Horns 18-6. The bright spot of the night, Dalen Holt, who broke Craig Kuzmic's single-season home run record with his 26th home run of the year. The teams headed to Austin for games 2 and 3 of the series. How the Aggies would respond, that was the big question. If they were to win a championship, it would have to happen on the road. The magic number was 4 with 5 games to go, all bus rides. Games 2 and 3. The Aggies quieted the critics and endeared themselves to the fans that never doubted. They bounced back on Saturday night in a wild 10-inning game to beat the 17th-ranked Longhorns 10-6. Chance Capel dominated the first 7 innings of the game, and the Aggies found their bats in the process. 3rd inning, big swinger Greg Porter hit a bomb, 7th of the year. The ball traveled over the 20-foot-high center field wall. Only the 25th home run over the wall since Dish Falk Field opened in 1975. It was the first by an Aggie. A&M got 4 in the 6th. Former UT player Sean Schumacher and first baseman John Sheshik both hit RBI doubles and knocked starter Scott Dunn from the ballgame. Up 6-1, the Aggies' foothold started slipping, and when the 8th inning was over, the game was tied at 6 apiece. Dalen Holt singled to start the 10th and went to second on Sheshik's bunt. Well, Lindsey just missed a homer, but it was good enough to get an RBI double to put the go-ahead run across the plate. One walk and Eric Sobek at the plate. He hits one that lights up the capital city sky and disappeared somewhere over the left field wall. 4 runs total the A&M half of the 10th inning. Russ allowed 2 walks in the bottom half of the inning, but was able to strike out pinch hitter Jason Espedo to win the game. Russ improved to a league-leading 11-1 with the win. Game 3 was A&M all the way. The Aggies' Matt Ward was masterful, pitching a complete game and not allowing a run until the 8th inning. Offense showed on the board, but defense was the key. The Aggies killed potential scoring opportunities for the Horns by turning 3 double plays. 4th inning, 5-4-3. 7th inning, Texas runners at first and third, a 5-4-3 double play. 9th inning, 6-4-3 double play, game over. Aggies took it to the Horns 10-1. When the dust settled, A&M had beaten Texas at Dish Falk Field in consecutive games for the first time since 1978. The second-ranked Aggies improved to 42-11 overall, 21-5 in conference, and needed to win 2 of 3 to repeat as the Big 12.
We showed that we could come back in the toughest of situations. There's no doubt that this is the toughest situation we could have ever drawn up for ourselves, and we responded, and we won 2 games, and we're feeling better than ever right now.
Came out ready to play on Saturday, and after that win on Saturday night, man, we were really hyped, ready to go today. There was no way we were going to lose today.
Another improvement. Baseball America's rankings moved the Aggies to #1 in the nation after the series, a ranking they would maintain for 3 consecutive weeks. This was the first time an Aggie team had been ranked #1 since the College World Series team of 1993. The trip to Oklahoma was an extended one for A&M if they would stay through the conference tournament. A&M had a 12-day layoff for finals before taking the field again. Friday night in Norman against the Sooners, Casey Fossum survived a third-inning scare and went the distance. Senior catcher Sean Schumacher was on a mission. In the fifth inning, a solo home run. In the eighth, a two-run shot. All in all, everybody for the Ags got a hit in the ball game. The Aggies defense helped Fossum.
At first base, ground ball, Lindsey goes to Heaney, got the force. Here's the relay. That's a double play, and that's the ball game. That's the third double play of the night for A&M.
Final score, 9-3 A&M. The next day at the team hotel, A&M found out that both Baylor and Texas Tech had suffered losses, thereby giving A&M its second straight Big 12 regular season championship. The Saturday game was a slugfest as the Aggies dropped a 13-12 decision in the bottom of the ninth on an OU home run. Game number 3 on Sunday, Matt Ward pitches his second complete game of the year for the win. Ward issued only his third walk of the season and his first in 46 innings of work while improving his record to 6-0. The Aggies coasted to a regular season finale win of 9-5 off of some great outfield play and timely hitting that included another 3-run shot by Eric Sobek. A&M finished the regular season number 1 in the nation. Big 12 champions, 44-12 overall, 23-6 in league play, and would soon be hosting an NCAA sub-regional. The conference tournament was next as they moved up the road to Oklahoma City's Southwestern Bell Bricktown Ballpark to take on the Sooners again. A&M, the top seed in the tournament, dropped its first-round game to OU 10-5. The Sooners jumped on starter Chance Capel early, and the Aggies' efforts to come back ended with Steve Scarborough being thrown out at the plate. Aggies bounced back in the double elimination event. Casey Fossum pitched a complete game against Oklahoma State. A&M muscled out a 4-2 win to send the Cowboys packing. Leadoff hitter Scarborough started the game with a solo shot, and the Aggies never trailed. Fossum struck out 10, moved to second on the all-time single-season strikeout list behind Jeff Granger. The win also gave Aggie skipper Mark Johnson the distinction of becoming the all-time winningest coach in school history, passing A&M coaching legend Tom Chandler with his 661st career victory.
I think, as I've said many times, he is a legend. He's a Hall of Famer in everybody's Hall of Fame, and I certainly wouldn't want anyone to compare me to him because he's in a different category.
In an elimination game against OU, A&M did not disappoint. Matt Ward gave another great performance as the maroon and white streaked to a 10-3 victory. Ward allowed only 3 runs on 10 hits and struck out 8. Offensively, Chad Hudson got 2 RBI triples, and an OU error in the third inning gave A&M more run-scoring opportunities. A&M caught a hot Nebraska club next and fell to the Huskers 8-7 to be eliminated. The Aggies took an early lead, but the seesaw game ended with the tying run at third base. A&M returned to College Station now to prepare for regional play. The NCAA expansion of the National Championship Tournament to 64 teams set a new format. 16 regional sites, each hosting a 4-team double elimination tournament. Each winner would advance to play at 8 super regional sites in a best-of-3 series, with the 8 winners then advancing to Omaha and the College World Series. A&M's regional hosted Monmouth, Long Beach State, and Ole Miss. Long Beach did in Ole Miss in the opener. The Aggies took on Monmouth in the nightcap. Mark Johnson started Chance Capel, and it paid off in a big way. Capel allowed only 1 hit, a 2-strike single to the first batter of the game. From that point on, he dominated the Hawks. A career night in strikeouts with 14. He faced only 2 over the minimum number of batters. Offensively, the Aggies used some trickery to get the first run. With 2 outs and runners at the corners, Dell Lindsey intentionally stumbled off of first base. Stephen Truitt took off from third, stealing home. Other offense was a 3 RBI performance from Schumacher, solo home run from Sean Heaney in the 7th. The Aggies then coasted to a 6-0 shutout.
I know a lot of people thought we were taking a gamble going with Chance, but if Chance is throwing good, he's as good a number 1 as there is in the country, and he threw well for us.
No, it's good. It's certainly good to get back in our home. I mean, this is an incredible place to play, and the community certainly came out tonight, and I think it was a big part of our win tonight.
Rain dampened the Aggies' second-day game against Long Beach State, forcing an hour and 21-minute delay. Truett scored 3 of A&M's 5 runs on the day with 2 long balls. Unranked Long Beach State advanced to the title game by outlasting the Aggies 7-5. A&M matched Long Beach in hits with 10, but they were unable to get some timely hits that would have made the difference. Long Beach got 3 home runs off the Aggie pitching staff to win the game. With their backs to the wall, the Aggies would have to come through the losers bracket to advance. They'd have to play a second game on Saturday and then hope to play 2 on Sunday to win the regional. A&M bats got hot against Ole Miss, 15 hits in all. Mississippi went through 5 pitchers to try and slow down the Maroon assault, but to no avail. A&M won and lived to see Sunday with a 13-7 elimination win. Dynamic Dalen was the offensive star, banging out 2 home runs in the game and a team-high 6 RBI. 3 runs in the second off of the bases-loaded single by Hudson, and a double by Truett got the offense on the board to stay. Matt Ward pitched 8 innings to run his record to 8-0. Sunday against Long Beach State, A&M would have to win 2 to advance. First game, freshman Khalid Baluli on the mound. A&M's hopes riding on his shoulders. The kid clutched up and gave one of the most memorable pitching performances of the season. Baluli went the entire game as the sellout crowd cheered him and the rest of the Aggie squad. The Aggies took the lead in the third with 3 runs. Holt hit number 31 to lead off the inning. Truett followed later with a 2-run shot. Long Beach came back and took a 5-4 lead in the 6th when Greg Dobbs launched a homer for the 49ers. Baluli would retire the next 10 batters before allowing a 1-out single in the 9th. A&M's drive to stay alive was helped by a 2-out error by Long Beach's third baseman in the 7th. Sean Heaney had an RBI single to tie the score, and A&M took the lead 6-5 on a passed ball.
Here comes the throw, and he is safe at the plate. No tag, no slide. He scores standing up.
A&M got some insurance on the way and set up a winner-take-all game with a 9-5 victory.
Look at him go after Baluli. It's a complete game. Now the Aggies are in a championship game at 7 o'clock tonight. 6-3 on the double play.
It's hard to describe. I mean, you go out there and you got, 6,000, 7,000, all behind you, and in a big situation, elimination game, and knowing that all eyes in the dugout are on you. I mean, it's a lot of pressure, but I mean that's when the fun comes in. That's why you play. That's why you try to get here.
We have to win tonight, or else it doesn't even matter. They're going to be ready to play. They're not going to lie down or that. We're going to be ready to play too, though, and I definitely think the momentum's in our corner right now, and this place ought to be rocking tonight. We're confident ball club right now. I think we're going to do it.
As they unpacked and repacked the house, A&M players responded in kind, playing with the fire that seemed fueled by the nearly 14,000 people that witnessed the 2 games.
Reached up and caught it and then ran into the wall. How big is that? That's unbelievable. And they're high-fiving the Holt.
A&M's bats banged out 19 hits. The 3rd inning, huge for A&M. 8 runs. Truett had the hit of the game with a grand slam to score 4, and the Aggies never looked back.
He's been the guy. You go back and look at what Khalid Baluli did in the game this afternoon, but among the position players, Stephen Truett has been the guy that has led this team back through the losers bracket of this championship game.
Chris Russ pitched strong in relief, going the last 6 2/3 innings. Final score, 17-7. A&M won the regional championship as Olsen Field rocked to a frenzied pitch. Relief, Olsen magic. The heart beats on as A&M advances to the Super Regional.
Aggies are holed up.
It's just a great chemistry where the guys just play well together, and we have great leadership within the group, and I enjoy watching them play. I sit back and like you all do and watch them play and just marvel at they don't give in.
Right now I think we're playing as good as ball as we have all year. We're hitting the ball and we're having good pitchers step up and do the job. Our defense is pretty much, I think we made 1 error today, which is one of those little fluke things that Shea should have picked it, but it's all right. He can mess up every now and then. But right now we're playing good, and if we keep it up, there's no doubt that we shouldn't be in Omaha.
The 12th-ranked Clemson regional and made their way to College Station, site of the best-of-3 series that would send the winner on to Omaha. Game 1, A&M had perhaps its best day at the plate. The Maroon and White belted out 7 runs in each of the first 2 innings to put the game out of reach, except for the most optimistic Tiger fan. 22 hits, 20 runs, final score 20-3. Highlights included home runs by Dalen Holt, whose 3-run blast in the first was his 34th of the season, setting a new Big 12 record. Holt homered again to lead off the second inning. Later that inning, left fielder Chad Hudson cranked a 2-run blast over the wall.
Fly ball to right field, and Hudson's taking it over the fence, and that's gone.
A&M's barrage of scoring was early and often. Fossum pitched 7 innings, striking out 6 on his way to setting a new A&M single-season record for K's with 151 by game's end.
2-2, 2 outs, runner at first base. Aggies ahead 20-3, top of the ninth. Swing and a miss. This one's over with. Well, it was a foul tip dropped by Ojibwe. They'll go to first to get the out. LaCroix never tried to run. So 2-3 on the put out, a strikeout, 2 in the inning by Weller, and the Aggies whopped them pretty good.
Game number 2. Clemson bounced back in a big way. On the brink of elimination, the Tigers would not go quietly. Before another A&M sellout crowd of over 7,600, they quieted the Aggie partisan with a 10-3 victory. The loss forced a Game 3 winner-take-all Sunday game. Sunday's game, the weather was hot and humid. The crowd breathing fire. Olsen Field was the site of one of the most memorable games in the history of Texas A&M baseball. Clemson won the coin flip and elected to play as the home team for the finale. A&M's Stephen Truitt scored the first run of the game after leading off with a double and getting home on a ground out.
Truitt with a lead at third base. Grounded at third base. It's a fair ball. The throw to first base. Holtz retired, but the Aggies get a run. Truitt breaking on a big chopper at third, played by Green to first base.
A&M's 1-0 lead grew by 1 when John Sheshik delivered a solo shot in the third.
Hard. It does. It's a home run, John Sheshik. The number 10 for Big John. Aggies lead 2-0.
We have a long way to go, but I just want to tell you what John Sheshik told me down there at batting practice today. He looked me right in the eye and he said, Mr. Bowen, I will not let this team lose. He said, we're going to Omaha. We'll see, but that helps, doesn't it?
Fast forward, bottom of the 6th. Clemson cut the lead in half. Runners at second and third, a fly to right turned into a dramatic inning-ending double play. Dalen Holt caught the ball, threw a strike to catcher Sean Schumacher, who chased down the runner and tagged him out for out number 3.
Phil, how about that?
The Aggies scratched out a run in the top of the 7th, scoring an unearned run. Chad Hudson made the most of a throwing error.
Oh, he's safe! He's safe!
Later scored on a Dalen Holt RBI single. A&M 3-1. Bottom of the 7th, Clemson takes the lead, hammering out 4 hits and getting 3 runs. In the inning, Ward gives way to Fossum, struck out the first batter, but then gave up 2 singles that scored the go-ahead run to give the Tigers a 4-3 lead. Neither team scored in the 8th. With 1 frame remaining, the Aggies were down to their final at-bat.
Tonight, Scarborough, Hudson, and Truitt. Aggies trail by a run. 4-3 to Clemson.
Steve Scarborough led off the 9th. 0-2. Screech hung tough, finally got his pitch.
It's in the air in the left field. Over the fence. Home run! Tied the game at 4. That's only a tie. That's only a tie. Let's keep it up.
It's a lot better than being down 4-3. And we just talked about the fact that Steve Scarborough will scrap when he gets up there. He got behind, no balls and 2 strikes right away. He stayed in there. That was the 7th pitch of the at-bat.
The home run tied the game at 4. Hudson flew out for the next out of the inning. While the crowd was still buzzing over the Scarborough home run, Stephen Truitt stepped to the plate.
Sometimes a guy will hit a good pitch, and Scarborough may have just done that. Here's Truitt. He's taken one deep to left field. It's going back, and it is gone! Aggies lead 5-4 in the top of the ninth. Solo home runs sandwiched around a fly ball to left field off of Chris Heck.
This place is coming apart.
5-4, top of the ninth.
The crowd was delirious. In a surreal scene saved for movie scripts with players named Redford and Costner, the Aggies transcended reality, writing their ticket for Omaha. 3 outs stood in the way as the Aggies took the narrowest of leads into the bottom half of the ninth inning. Fossum, who had gone 7 innings less than 48 hours earlier, allowed 2 base runners while recording the first 2 outs of the inning. 1 out to go. Clemson's hottest hitter, Patrick Boyd, at the plate. The tying run standing on second base. A brief shower had clouds hanging over Olsen. With a 1-2 count and the season in the balance, the sun broke through on the drama.
I would expect Casey to try to put a little something extra on the slider here.
Sun comes out from behind a cloud, and suddenly we have sunshine covering the infield. A 1-2 pitch to the plate. Swing and a miss! He struck him out! He struck him out! He struck him out! Aggies are going to the College World Series.
First, they're going to have to get out that dog pile out on the infield, though.
Going to the CWS. Be in Omaha next week. They do it with 2 home runs in the top of the ninth and dramatics in the bottom of the ninth. Their best man, Patrick Boyd, against the Aggies' Casey Fossum, struck him out.
Late inning dramatics. A never-say-die attitude gave this team a trip to Omaha and the College World Series. A&M is making its first trip to the College World Series since 1993, and only the 4th in school history. Their 52-16 mark was 4th best in the record book. They had the hottest bats in school history, setting a school record for home runs, and had the best fan support anywhere, setting the top attendance mark for all regionals, averaging over 6,000 fans a game. They averaged almost 4,700 fans a game for the season. A&M arrived in Omaha with 7 other teams: Florida State, Cal State Fullerton, Miami, Alabama, Rice, Stanford, and fellow Big 12 school Oklahoma State. Thursday was a day for practice, interviews, and autographs as the fans of the College World Series got a chance to meet the best in college baseball. The Aggies even had some time to meet some of their favorite ESPN types and have a little fun at Rosenblatt Stadium. The draw had A&M facing Florida State in the opening round game before a national television audience on CBS. Turnstiles turned often, and by the time the teams had gone through batting practice, the seats were full with almost 20,000 fans. Aggie ace Casey Fossum had control problems early on, worked his way out of a bases-loaded jam, giving up just a run in the first inning. A&M answered with a run of their own in the top of the second. Stephen Truitt doubled with 1 out and scored on Greg Porter's RBI single. Catcher Sean Schumacher hit a 3rd-inning home run to keep the Aggies close, 4-2. In the 4th inning, Heaney doubled and then made it home on an error by the second baseman. A&M continued to have scoring opportunities that they just could not capitalize on. In the 5th, the Aggies loaded the bases on 3 consecutive walks, nobody out. Chris Chavez came on for the Seminoles and promptly struck out the side. Chavez dominated the game. He retired the next 9 batters he faced and did not allow a base hit until Chad Hudson led off with a single in the 9th inning. The game ended on a double play ball off of Schumacher. FSU put A&M into the loser's bracket. 3 win. The Aggies, used to having their backs against the wall, faced the challenge again. Cal State Fullerton would be the opponent in the elimination game to stay alive. Matt Ward got the call for the Aggies and pitched well, allowing 4 runs in 6 2/3 innings of work. Chris Russ pitched the final 2 1/3, holding the Titans scoreless and allowing only 1 hit. The storyline for the CWS for Texas A&M continued to be lack of bats. An untimely scoring slump with runners in scoring position proved to be the Aggies' undoing. The vintage magic that A&M had provided all year seemed to be ready to reappear. In the ninth inning, Sean Heaney had a one-out single and went to third off of a Greg Porter double to the alley in left center. The hit knocked Titan starter Mike Sorensen from the mound. Kurt Sarlers retired the next two batters to end the game and earn the save, sending A&M home from Omaha. The 1999 version of the Texas A&M baseball team will be remembered for many accomplishments. They were the fourth team in school history to win 50-plus games with a 52-18 mark. They won a second Big 12 Conference championship in a row in what was one of the most competitive conferences in the country. They became then the first team in Big 12 Conference history to win back-to-back baseball titles. They set a school record for home runs with 128, shattering the old record by 40 homers. They had that magical quality that enabled them to win in their last at-bat 9 times during the year. Perhaps most of all, they made for themselves a special spot in the hearts and memories of the Aggie faithful, playing in front of the largest crowds ever to witness baseball at Olsen Field, winning both the regional and super regional in the most improbable of endings. This Aggie team had it. They call it Olsen Magic.
I think this is one of the best teams I've had as far as having a strength of belief, and I really felt like that was going to be a key. And it turned out to be a real important one because we get in the ninth and it just doesn't look good for us, and we have some guys step up big. And
felt good. I don't remember even running around the bases. I was floating. I don't remember anything. I don't know what I was doing. To tell you the truth, I just threw it out. I didn't know. I was just real excited. Yeah, I knew when I hit it, but I didn't want to. They say I almost killed some people in the dugout.
If I was a college player, I'd love to play here because they back me. I'd have a date every night, I guess.
I just keep singing, well, 555, babe.
I'm a little spoiled, I think, because I'm a senior, and things just happened to go my way today. Last time on Olsen Field, it was just awesome, and I'll never forget it, I promise you that.